final because they'll be put through into the lower bracket of the main event. And the great thing about this event is everything is best of 3, so they've got no excuses. Gods, just a little piece of me thinks that maybe they would have liked a slightly different format here. Maybe best of ones would have been better for EG. I don't know.
No, not against TNC. They're the BO1 kings.
No,
they win the first game, then they often lose game 2, game 3.
That's true.
The story with them.
I saw that earlier, of course, as well. You know, I didn't win the first game, but they won 1 game and still couldn't win the best of 3. Is there any way back for EG in this? Are we just expecting too much from these boys too soon?
No. You're not an EG fan or hater or whatever if you're not expecting a lot. And I think based on these players, their resumes, you should be expecting a lot. They're putting this team together with the idea of greatness, huge success, not just being a decent team. So.
Yeah. All right. I want to talk about TNC as well because we didn't really talk about them too much before the break, but they played well, Shannon. And as God's pointed out, they had the DP, they knew what the timings were, they kind of knew what kind of game they were going to get. They got exactly the kind of game. They didn't panic, didn't lose control of the game, knew it was eventually going to come to them.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know that watching it, honestly, because they were off to a really good start, and the EG started taking over slowly but surely, getting 2 racks, but they stuck with it. And I mean, they have good team camaraderie. They've been together as a team for quite a while now during the DPC. So, like I said, I think they're very underrated. I don't know why people kind of look past them a lot of the time, but I think they're a super solid team overall.
Yeah, I mean, Henrik, they haven't had the best of seasons when you look back at it. This is only their 6th DPC event of the season. We've had 22, including this one. They had a 4th place at the DAC Major, which was a decent result for them, and a 2nd at MDL Macau, which I think Gods and I are in agreement. We would kind of write that one off. Nothing to do with MDL, but just the quality of the opposition wasn't particularly great. OG won that one, for instance. So kind of says an awful lot about that tournament, I guess, at the time. But that's not much to report back on from what we were expecting quite good things from these guys. They've got a good group of players, got some experience in there. I would have expected them to have been closer to Mineski this season, wouldn't you?
Yeah, for sure. And I don't think they're underrated, really. Like, everyone expects them to easily get top 6 in this tournament. They can beat any team. We saw them beating VP. If they play against Liquid, I still think they could beat them as well. Like, they're definitely a good team, but they're not the best. That's the thing.
Yeah, sure. Gods, are they still stuck in this whole SEA mentality thing that Mineski have broken away from?
No, I think TNC's victim of being in a really tough region. They're in a region where there's 3 very dominant teams and 3 dominant teams that have to play almost every qualifier. Yep. Only recently do we see Mineski get invites. So up until now, the reason they've been in 6 events is because they have to beat Fnatic and Mineski to qualify for these events. If they'd played as many DPC events as EG, they would be top 8.
Yeah.
They would have done...
That's actually pretty crazy to think about, though.
Yeah.
This is EG's 13th DPC event in comparison.
If TNC had played 13 DPC events, it'd be top 4 in the DPC right now, I would say. Maybe top 6. I don't know. But they would definitely be in the top 8, I would say.
I mean, for EG, that's a lot of direct invites as well, not through qualifiers at all.
That's probably not going to last much longer, though. Not now they have to go through the qualifiers with Optic and VGJ, Storm. So
it's looking like a fun North American qualifier. I don't know about the team. The players are probably just like, oh god, but for us,
I'm excited to see who they even invite to region. There's like 4 teams they can invite right now, or something like that.
That's every NA qualifier, isn't it?
It's worse this year though. It's progressively worse each year. It feels like NA region is falling behind and behind.
Yeah, but that said, it's a deep talent pool, and there's going to be some very competitive games. Anyway, draft number 2 is underway, and we've got a DP on EG's side. All right.
You know, something we didn't mention is that EG, this is kind of tradition to be god-awful in the group stage, right?
Well, usually day one. No, usually, Shannon, day one. They turn up, they're awful day one, they're jet-lagged, they're sleepy, they're tired, or so. I don't know what it is, but they've never been great on the first day, no matter what iteration they have.
The problem is group stage is only one day for them.
Yeah, it's kind of a bummer today.
There's a low bracket, though, you know. They're the low bracket team.
They are the low bracket kings,
That's EG.
And OG, for that matter.
Combined together? Do they cancel each other out, or
are they the super lower bracket team?
Only time will tell.
Yeah. I should mention that, yes, Fly, not S4, but Fly did win a major all the way from the lower bracket. All the way back
the first major,
2015, I want to say. Frankfurt?
16? Oh, it might have been 15, yeah.
Yeah, that's Frankfurt 2015, yeah, all the way from that. And they were awful in the groups as well.
Yeah, they sure were.
So, yeah, it can be done. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. EG aren't even out of this series right now. They're planning to win 2 in a row, and then would have to play VG Gaming again in order to go to the upper bracket. So still a lot of Dota in front of them.
Yeah, thank God for the Supermajor, because if this was another tournament, they would be eliminated now, 0-3.
Oh my.
But at least they got the DP now. First big DP. Seems to be the hero of the tournament.
Yeah, looks like it. Was
Yeah.
Undying banned last?
No,
game?
they
Wasn't picked or banned, right?
just seem to be going different direction
Strange.
against EG.
Yeah, neither of these two teams have
EG's
played that much.
turn
EG
to
played a
bat.
little bit with their previous
Oh,
lineup.
yeah. All right, if this is not the new Warlock set, I am going to be so disappointed. Because
We had it earlier today.
I have to
we
give a
did-
shout out
we'd
to,
have one game.
to yeah, I did see that.
Yeah.
Graf, the guy who made this, is a god. It is
I
such
agree.
a sick set.
Yep.
Not to get overexcited over cosmetics, but that's
That's
what
fine.
we're here
we're
for,
allowed
right?
to get excited by cosmetics.
10 seconds remaining.
yeah. This is. All right, what do you guys think of Warlock overall right now? You said there was
5
one game
seconds
played with
remaining.
him, kind of this counter initiation hero.
Yeah.
His talents are really, really good.
I like
think it's
him.
like a 40%
He's been-
XP talent.
He's been good in the meta for a while now, just not picked heavily, is he?
He seems to be good against these off-lane, dual-lane pressure lanes just because you've got the heal to sustain. That really seems to be his niche. You're up against a pesky dual lane that's going to spam you, pick a Warlock plus some kind of carry that's just going to keep getting healed while he farms.
Yeah, good against Beastmaster as well. When he does his summon, you're sure to get them and maybe 2-3 heroes, and you just AoE them down, you're going to do mass damage, and all his spells are really good. His ultimate, again, it's a super good
TNC's turn to
ultimate,
bat.
great talents.
And EG have let that Sand King go through, that pesky Sand King from game one. I guess maybe they didn't
Turn
feel
to
it was
ban.
as powerful
You can
against
only
them.
ban so many heroes, I guess.
That's true.
It's per
Yeah.
one-off as well. You don't usually get that kind of good Sand King games. He was like 6 slotted, 25 super early.
I mean, if you can guarantee the game's going 60 minutes, then not that he's not annoying up until that point, but at that point, he's almost unkillable. I feel
Yeah,
like.
and they've also focused Raven in the bans as well with that Gyro and the Lycan as well. Two of his best
10
three
seconds remaining.
most played. The other one being Terrorblade, which you'd never ban in the first round anyway. Right now, so I guess they figured that they just want to give him less options.
Even the lifesteal being
Yeah, I was
banned
going to
now,
say the
so
lifestealer now as well. It's-
TV's,
all right.
TV's just not in the meta,
No.
too weak right now, so you don't even need to ban it.
Yeah, so you've moved him down to the kind of troll, tiny, lunar range of heroes now, which is not necessarily tier
Yep.
1, but
I don't know. I'm kind of surprised that Disruptor hasn't been banned yet. And I just feel like he's such a, like, as far as Glimpse is concerned, other than Doom, maybe the most powerful single target spell in the game, possibly.
They're going to get it again.
Surprised we don't get to see it more in the first 2 heroes. It's just has done so well all tournament, I feel.
again, it's been a fairly staple meta pick now for a few
Are we going to
months.
see ET? So that kind of, I feel like ET Disruptor, it's not going to work this game, but ET Disruptor as a combo is probably one of the dirtiest one in the game as far as vision, getting the
10
easy glimpse,
seconds remaining.
Thunderstrike combo.
I guess
But-
they can't pick it because they already have their
Exactly.
off lane in their 4
But
position.
what about for EG? Does ET work with a Warlock?
I don't
you
think
have
they
5 and a
pair
4,
well
but-
together, but that doesn't necessarily mean you don't want ET.
Probably need some more just better stuns. Even though ET's got a stun, but they're just lacking some stuns now, I think.
Tusk sounds a bit better. Then you also get a BKB piercing disable with his ultimate. The few Tusks I've seen, even after the nerf, still feels like the hero is very strong.
Yeah, it's a crit hero, so it's
I want to
possible.
see Pango. I don't even care if it's good.
You're,
That
you're
hero is
definitely
so
not
fun.
going to see a
think-
Pango out of these two. Well, not out of Evil Geniuses, that's for sure, unless they somehow swing a surprise. But
As for his, I don't think he plays it at all. And he's not
Yeah.
honestly not the most versatile hero on the offense. He usually plays like 5-6 heroes over and over. You don't see him branching out to Pango yet, or
TNC's
Prophet. He never
turn
tried that
to
as well. The Rubik.
Ritz
Okay.
Rubik. Good hero against Sand King.
Oh, yeah.
EG's
That's for
turn
sure.
to
Yep.
pick.
it's Crit's second most played of all time. It's also Fly's second most played of all time, by the way, as well.
TNC's turn to bat.
Slark. Really good against Luna.
Yeah.
She ults, you just counter ult.
I think they were anticipating that Luna pick. They did not hesitate at all with the Slack pickup.
It's going to be a rough lane for S4 though. Luna Disruptor. The damage is going to be rough on him.
He's fine, Henrik.
Yeah.
He loves a challenge.
Yeah, he just picks a team fight hero, babysit his team later on, make sure his course gets some decent game.
He'll get some help probably from Rubik. This
Yeah.
is the dual lane, this Warlock Slack that I've probably seen the most with the Warlock, because Slack already has really good base HP regen. It's been buffed a few times, and then you give him Warlock's heal. used to be a real big struggle for Slark to get level 6 because you get bullied out of the lane, but nowadays it just seems a lot easier with the sustain.
They could try to pick Bat right here. Maybe they need initiation. It's annoying for Luna to deal with, but at the same time it can backfire. It can get completely zoned out.
Yeah, we haven't seen much Bat recently, although we did see it in the first game of the day today.
I think I'd rather see like that kind of Crimson pipe buying hero. Doom could have perhaps been that.
Maybe they go Underlord.
Oh, Underlord.
Underlord versus Luna, definitely an option.
What about a mid hero for TNC
10
versus
seconds
the,
remaining.
I assume, DP? We're going to
You
see
pick-
Queen of Pain this game?
I mean,
5
after
seconds
watching
remaining.
VP play, I want to see another Bloodseeker.
Oh my, that's true. The hardest counter for
EG's
Slark.
turn to
That
I'm actually a little bit surprised they didn't ban that, because that feels real bad to play. Oh my lord. Okay.
I was thinking about Centaur, but it's not very good against Disruptor because he'll just send you back again. And it's a good laner. He got buffed quite a lot. +4 damage.
Quite a lot. Come on.
It's
For
a good lane. No. It's
Centaur
good.
makes
And
me
you get
feel
like
so sad
and
sometimes.
the
another
level
hook
1
stomp.
stun costs a lot less lower mana
you can
too.
get
yeah.
15
15 mana
extra.
to be exact.
Yeah, but you add it up. You got to
seconds
multiply it.
I
I know
know.
that's complicated for any math, but when you do it many times, it adds up. It's basically one more stun in the lane. And he's already a good laner. That's the thing. He's already got good damage. You add more damage to good damage. He's got very good CS now, almost on par of Beastmaster.
I mean, S4 uses my set, so
Yeah. And
that's okay. I'm fine with it.
S4 is really good at abusing standing on top of creeps as well with the hero. Because you can't click the creeps when you stand on top of it. Centaur is pretty annoying.
And it's a Sumail Centaur.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, that would be
You
the
can
day.
look at Smail right now. He looks very confident of 3 losses.
I mean, the one thing I will say right now is, and I don't know why we haven't been seeing Centaurs kind of rush this a little bit faster, but we saw, I can't remember what series it was, but Centaur got a super fast Aghanim Scepter, and the game just completely changes. 40% mitigation during the ult. That's a 7-second period. And with all this damage coming out from especially like the Luna ult, Roar,
the Bloodseeker.
there's the Bloodseeker. That's going to feel, oh, this is actually
It's-
tough to predict.
Yeah, so
I love Bloodseeker so much. It's so good against Slark. It's the counter pick. And then the laning stage, he's also a lane dominator. I heard like Death Prophet we saw against the Gyro. Bloodseeker crushed the 1v1. It's not as dominant against the Death Prophet, but it's still a very good matchup.
all right, let's go down the line. Mr. Admiral Bulldog, which way?
It's going to be hard. I think the lanes are too hard for EG to win, so they're going to have too much of a hard time. So I think TNC will win, sadly enough.
Okay.
I have a real love-hate relationship with Centaur. You might be able to tell that by the way I talk about how much I hate how bad he is right now.
I'm
I know
getting a
he
sense.
can be good, but I mean, Bloodseeker, this is an old pub tradition. The counter to Slark, like it's the original. I can't go against Bloodseeker on this one. So
Okay.
TNC.
So TNC for you as well. And Gods?
I believe in TNC as well.
Okay.
I like their draft better this game.
A unanimous decision on the panel.
That's not good.
So game 3, here we go.
Always a worry, always a worry, because there's
Hey.
this panel curse thing going on. Last time we were at the event, and all 3 of them chose the same thing. They got it wrong every single time. Let's see if they're going to be right this time as we head back to our commentary team. Toby and Kyle, it's all yours.
You know, at the end of game 1 panel, I was like, you know what? Bulldog knows where it's at. Start this game, like, Bulldog knows where it's at. Now, I'm not so certain because everyone else agreed. Kyle, balance me here.
Well, I think that I called the Bloodseeker. You're my evidence.
Yes,
Great
I am
pick.
your evidence. I basically asked you the question, like, how do you counter a Slark ignoring all drafts? And Bloodseeker was one of the 4 heroes you mentioned.
Yeah, it's super good against the Centaur and DP as well. They're movement speed based. You can effectively just keep them in place. They can't itemize to prevent the damage either. But the concern I have is that the Slark can still get out of control, and the team fight from EG is nuts. Centaur ult with Warlock Golem behind you, Fatal Bonds, Rex, TNC.
Yeah.
The thing I'm concerned for is that I feel like EG might have made the same mistake they did against Vici, where they failed to recognize like what really was beating them. And against Vici, it was the Bounty Hunter. That activated the lineups of Vici. And in this game, it's the TNC Disruptor. Like, I really think that I've seen them play around this hero so much better than they do with other supports. Cuckoo, Dazzle, Witch Doctor, like, it's not the same impact at all. And they just let them get it second phase again. And I'm concerned, especially when there's a Bloodseeker in the game. We saw VP just run over a game in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Rupture Glimpse.
It's the way to make it work. It's not even just him too. Like Tim's performance. Like we were flagging everyone on TNC during the last game. Raven just did his work, and he has another one of these heroes again, taking the Luna as opposed to the Gyrocopter in game 1, where he's just standing his ground and use the spaces created by his support pair. And Cuckoo, as well as Tims, they create so much space. And now you're going to arm Armel, like the Bloodseeker. How does this matchup actually work? This was the only concern I had. Like, how does DP versus Bloodseeker actually match up? Because Sumail laughed after he saw the Bloodseeker pickup. So either he's got a lot of confidence or he's like jet lagged.
It depends. You
Looking for the best word for that.
Bloodseeker can kill Death Prophet if the enemy. He does much better when there's harass damage going out in the other lanes, because you're going to get all the damage and move speed from Thirst. I think Bloodseeker is favored, but DP can dominate if he wins the first couple waves hard, just by heavy harass. And they do not get the lanes they want. You can see Arteezy's actually going to run all the way bottom.
Yeah, they're switching, and you got Centaur running all the way top. They don't want to just have like a TP scroll switch up top lane. However, Fly, real trouble because it's an aggressive tri-lane. So while they're swapping, they left the supports alone in the lane EG, while both cores are basically like ships in the night passing in the mid lane.
Why? How do you not expect the Luna aggro tri-lane? You gotta invest into scouting these lanes. You know, smoke level 1, you have Rubik Warlock. Neither one of these heroes needs to. Crit doesn't need a Fairy Fire. You get a smoke, you scout the lanes, you place deep wards, and you dodge the tri-lane. You have a Slark. Like, you know this is gonna happen. EG doesn't want this.
Okay, what we have to remember is now Crit has become the new 3 position. He's getting experience and farm on the bottom lane so he can contest SamH. But now Cuckoo, they've already started their rotations, TNC. So you may have walked it in, EG, but now it's a dual lane on bottom versus a dual lane, and Arteezy, I think all he wants to do is create some space.
Yeah, but he's now a level behind Beastmaster, and again, this is the same game I feel like I saw VP play against TNC earlier today, where the Disruptor Beast lane just out-harassed and crushed their lane, and now they're pretty much a level ahead of the Slark, and you're not a hero that wants to be behind in the laning phase.
Yeah, they're getting so much harassment into Crit too. Like Cuckoo, you don't need the other glimpse. He puts down the wall, like there's no chance for a kill, but they're forcing the consumables out of the EG off laners now.
Yep. And look at Armel, man.
At least you get the leash in return. Arteezy, and again, he doesn't want to have this much damage. The wall doesn't let him go into the tree line, so Arteezy forced to fight with the Thunderstrike Cuckoo into the tree line. The damage from Crit's enough. The axes swing. One more hit from SamH. Still not enough. Arteezy drops low and will salve up. A lot of information, because remember, when he's low, Armel becomes real quick and real strong. So they always have to keep their life up. They cannot afford to be low on these side lanes.
Issue is Luna is just free farming top lane, and there's nothing that a Warlock Centaur can really do about it either.
Yeah. They're actually almost the same CS, the Bloodseeker as well as the Luna. Death Prophet 6-1, so Sumail's not having the greatest time.
And Slark is okay in this game if you can snowball, but you don't ever want to be behind when you're playing against a Bloodseeker. You just don't. You don't win.
Well, top lane, they're going in again. But that's what, if a Burrow Strike attacking into S4 is going to be the greatest thing in the world. This is still a Centaur with 800 HP. Well, they're going to keep it up. The Fatal Bonds. Like, okay, S4, Tims, does he have enough? With the Caustic Pop, it won't be. Drops down low, is going to salve up quickly. Yeah. But does prove that even with the level 2 SK and a level 3 Luna, they can get through that 800 HP of S4.
You see what's happening middle?
What's happening middle?
It's 20-9 versus 7-2.
Yeah.
I don't believe Sumail's satisfied.
I would be surprised if he is too. That little chuckle, it's his karma. You gotta be careful. And it's the Bloodseeker. Like, how many times have we seen a Bloodseeker just own everything? And, and he's getting buffed up once more because...
Yeah. I was going to make that comment because everyone else is low on the enemy side. And when you're playing with Disruptor Beastmaster on your team, it's the dream because they're always going to be pressuring their lane and keeping enemy heroes low.
Sumail's actually dead right now. No, Armel's going to try and outrun it.
Yeah. At least he's not a gyro. He can pop a heal and save himself, but still going to be behind in the lane.
Yeah. But this is that problem which we're kind of talking about on the couch before when VP were playing. And how do you stop... How do you stop a Bloodseeker when you're winning all 3 of your lanes? VP will always do that. Cuckoo's in trouble on bottom lane. Trying to create a little bit more time, Arteezy. He's able to shift some of the essence. SamH, Axis Crit. Had to be careful, but he's got a lot of stick charges to work with.
Sumail's like, guys, please. Stop.
Make it
Bloodseeker's
easier.
got 150 damage.
They're going
middle.
again up on top lane. I saw the information too that TNC have, like, so they have it where Bloodseeker currently has like almost 600 movement speed. He's got plus 61. He's rotating down because they're picking up Sam H. He's going to axe out, but here comes Armel. He's looking to come in through the rear with the Blood Riser. Samel will go down very low. Crit wisely TPs out. TNC will not be so lucky, but Armel gets both of the cores. For that simple rotation, then S4 dies. All 3 cores of EG die within a 15-second window. Oh,
Dude, this last pick Bloodseeker, I've been telling people for 3 days now, okay? This hero is nuts. Your level 10 talent, 8 armor, 25 attack speed, both nuts. Super high damage and armor hero, like one of the few forms of damage amplification in the game. Like, it's just a crazy hero. Later on, he's gonna just buff a Luna, and she can just hit buildings for 1 billion damage.
the Fatal Bonds are out once more. As S4 being doved on the top lane, mid lane. They're at least going to pick up on Armel. This is going to be a nice return kill. If Samel could finish claiming it, miss uphill. Now he's moved uphill, and Samel will connect. Armel will fall, and Samel a much needed 301 gold and space in the mid lane. Because he was losing hard. 34-20 to the 14-2 of Samel.
Yep. So we'll say that the issue, Bloodseeker can never really itemize to not fall off. So he can dominate the early game, crush through the mid game, but he's sort of like a Quap in that if you die a couple times too many in the mid to late game, you just fall off, you run out of damage, and you
pick up on top.
Stronger.
They get the hook stomp into a double edge and fly, and they're really not wasting anything out. Like, I also love to watch a Warlock with no mana for Shadow Word.
These one man goes mid lane. They catch the DP with the ultimate.
Well, Samel's just going to let rip, and that's a good burn. Cuckoo. He has Mango for a glimpse, but Samel just has to stand his ground. Now he can walk it off.
Yeah, this is a good decision. If he moves too much there, he gets glimpsed, he dies for sure, but nice to pop ult. If he takes too many auto attacks, they can just kill him through it, so good zoning.
Flying desperately needs some mana. They're diving mid. Glimpse pulls Samel away and pulls his ghouls out of range of Armel, who does not want to retreat, but now he's going to ping out to go for the shrine. But that's where Crit's moving, actually. Crit going to say hello to Cuckoo. I just want to shrine it to start with. Okay, well, maybe Armel. Oh, with the Fade Bolt. No, Crit can't get both of these, can he? He's looking around the tree lines. The Observer Ward gave him the vision, but he's so low on life, Armel can just take that kill. So, 1-for-1 trade-off, but Crit getting something on the map.
I think you're happy with that. Just a lot of space made.
He's got experience, too. He's now only a quarter away from 6.
Arteezy's about to be 6 as well. It's really important. Slark is the key to this game, because even though Bloodseeker does counter him, to do that, you need to get a Rupture on him to just start a fight. And if he's able to just get a Shadow Blade, initiate, they have Centaur DP that'll immediately be on top of him as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's all going to be about initiation in this game.
Fire Strike top. That initiation you're talking about. Going to go a little bit astray from Tim's. And they're waiting on bottom. Samel with Arcane Rune just wants to kill off Sam H, but Arteezy needs to hit the leash for this to work. And then, through the trees, outside, leash is able to connect. And Sam H, TP, no way successful on that, really? Meanwhile, mid lane, Armel as well as Cuckoo get the kill onto Crit, who was just trying to soak up 6.
There's nothing you can do about it. You catch a Rupture at this phase of the game as a support, you're going to die for sure. Luna top has ultimate ready, so they're just kind of baiting around. They will... Centaur, holy... S4 is a Hood of Defiance already. Luna Sand no longer threatens him, and I don't know how Centaur dies this game, actually, looking at it.
I think it's Rupture into double force staff, right? Yeah. That's the way to do it. Oh, nice double edge spill damage onto Tim's. Cuckoo's made his way up towards the top. Glimpse off cooldown in 1 second time. Here comes your Eclipse. Fly and S4 both tanking it. Fly. They want to finish the job. Samel, goodbye. You cannot TP onto a town where a Disruptor is already there.
S4 just gets tickled. He's going to be full health in that.
They're going to Rupture mid. Because they know he just uses TP on top. The Fire Strike forward. Tim's, he's low on life, but all he was meaning to do was control Samel just long enough for Armel to finish the job. Can't do it! The pick pickup is there from Crit. They gave the life with the Shadow Word from Fly that allowed him to stand his ground. And you mentioned you can't die a couple of times in a row. That's exactly what's happened. That's easy. Wants to get the kill on Sam H. Leash is on cooldown for 3 seconds. I say leash the pounce. And he won't get the target. Not the one he's looking for. But they do get a lot of bounty runes.
Another tight game. Armel's deaths are going to hurt him, though, yeah, especially with the item build. He's going for a Yols. Not sure I agree with that decision. It is nice to purge off the hood and the heals, but I'm not a huge fan. I think he needed a BKB timing and an item that helped him scale a bit better. Blade Mail would be quite good in the game. DP can't prevent the damage he's going to deal.
Wondering how long it's going to be too until they pull Raven off this top lane. And Shuri gets some good farm and take that bottom tower. There's this Luna. She doesn't appear, like, you're talking about like how much damage you can have to get through the Centaur. Like, what happens once he has Crimson Guard? Like, what happens when they start having a lot more against this? Sumail ruptured once more, has a TV scroll available, begins it now. Burrow Strike on cooldown, the damage! One more attack from Armel would have done it. Now he'll still use that Thirst movement speed to chase after Fly. Sumail only TP'd into the tier 1 tower. So Armel goes for the Blood Right. Sumail's forced to hold down south. They can't find the target they want. They can at least glimpse S4 away. So he's back up onto the top lane. And S4 may be happy with this. He's got a creep wave. Actually, no, it's being pulled so far past the tower.
And it's still pretty even game. Both teams have win conditions here. I think there's no real draft that gains an advantage. Just no one's on the clock, so to speak. But
yeah, not like last game.
Yeah, I think TNC has the much easier draft to execute. Just land a Rupture on the Slark of the Centaur and run in with a Luna that buys a BKB. But at a certain point, Slark can take over the game. 3-4 items.
I think Sumail might die here. They're going to glimpse him back into the storm. They can Burrow Strike control, need the extra hit. Rock falls from Fly, trying to create more space, and they roar and lose some beams down Sumail. What have they got left for Arteeza? They have Rupture, but they need a stun. Burrow Strike on cooldown for too long. 2 seconds too long.
They get the Rupture. They have Rupture him as well, so that'll be on cooldown for a little bit.
Such a low cooldown though. Like it's a minute cooldown on Rupture. That just seems a little bit too frequent.
And hero that just got buffed in that recent patch as well. Not just the talent, but it made Blood Rage a little easier. Some quality of life changes. Buffed the vision on his Blood Rage. Nothing major, but it's really cool. Whenever some hero gets a couple of tweaks, it puts it back into people's minds. Like, hey, we could pick this. I think Undying was one we already seen in a few games that 100%. Just little tweaks, but then you're like, wait, this hero steals people's strength. That's got to be good.
Tims is in trouble. He used the Sandstorm movement, goes directly into the epicenter. Anything to dissuade Arteezy from finishing the job. He's got 4 stick charges. That's not enough to actually get the Burrow Strike out. Not when Sumail's able to work. Crit uses his Burrow Strike to kill off 1, take the second. The earn charge from Crit was doing the work. He'll earn those back straight away. Pun was intended. And then they move over towards Sam H. Pick up the telekinesis, drop down into the hoof stomp. And Evil Geniuses and the 4-man gang squad find that kill. But meanwhile, Fly. Look at Armel.
He was 800 move speed for a little while there.
Well, they're
crap.
also low on top lane. Of course, the Bloodseeker takes advantage of the one support hero that's in mid lane.
I'm still just... we'll see how this Yule's build goes. I have not seen this style of Bloodseeker in a while. I'll be curious to see if he goes. I've seen a Dagon E-Blade style Bloodseeker before. I'm not sure if that's how he's going to go, but
he's got S&Y that is the next item build. But I at least like the Yule. I like the Yule Scepter to at least stop the runaway from like Centaurs, the Dispel you talked about. But it's also these TPs, which are the easiest cancel. Like he needs something against that, and the Yule Scepter kind of offers you that.
Yep. I'll give you that. They don't have. They have a lot of stuff.
Yeah, they do. But right now, it seems like Armel's just a one-man killing band. They're babysitting the double damage. I don't think you really want to come down for this one. Sumail, the wall, the storm, and the rupture. Sumail getting glimpsed a little bit further away. Has the ultimate coming up at the moment? No, doesn't have the mana for it. Instead, just sustains. Raw, Sam H, have they got another follow-through? Yeah, they do. They have Eclipse. Crit was able to steal that, but he cannot stay close enough to TNC and survive.
It does mean, though, that that's the next team fight. They'll have Golem up. They already have Centaur ulti, of course. Blink now going to be finished on S4 as well. And I don't think you can stop them from taking objectives for the next couple of minutes. Too much AoE threat.
It does look pretty good for him.
I just don't know. I really think TNC is all about the BKB timings, and neither one of their cores seems to be very interested in purchasing one. This is not Chinese Dota.
Raven's getting his range first. At least he's got a triple stack of Ancients to help along the way.
I think it's going to come back to haunt Armel, though. He's way too squishy, even with... he actually skipped the armor talent. So he's just... He just dies in a stun right now, and if he has BKB, he's invincible. I just think that he's going to regret this purchase.
It does seem kind of weird, like also skipping the armor talent against like such heavy physical DPS with the Death Prophet ultimate, which he has to run close in on. Obviously, there's a lot of magical that can offset it. TP's already coming to the top lane. And the movement back. It's the Shadow Blade reveal for Slark. Looking for his initial kill. TP out begins. Crit. They use the Stampede to close the distance. Armel caught out in the tree lines. S4 actually held the hoof stomp for it, and Crit just nukes him with the Eclipse. They moved away from Tim. And yeah, it's Burrow Strike. How do you close that distance? The Glimpse trying to give a little bit of extra range. It's actually in front of Roshan. Samel being brought up and axed down by TNC.
Really well played by S4. They get the initial kill thanks to the lift, and S4 just continues hunting to the left side.
Artee's going to kill off Cuckoo. The tower is being denied up, so he'll get the kill, as well as take the tower. Fortification, trying to deny it up. But there are way too many heroes here for EG, so they'll take the tower and the kill.
Really good play from EG. Utilize the Shadow Blade right away, find kills on cores. I think Armel's just going to fall straight off. He's going for a Blade Mail next, but I mean, he was so ahead, and he put 2,800 gold into a Yules. Has he used it yet?
No.
The hero doesn't have mana issues. It just I praised TNC for the right decisions last game. I really think that one has significantly damaged their chances of winning this game, and it's all going to be about Raven, who's not even going for BKB next. He wants a full pike. How are you going to take an objective? How are you going to take a team fight into Warlock, DP, Centaur if you don't have anybody that can actually run in and force EG to back away?
Unless they're really hoping that this is their way to enable the Bloodseeker with Rupture. Like, if that's the way to do it, Hurricane pike him back and then attack through, that would make sense. For the moment, TNC, they're trying to get themselves back into a commanding position in this game. Roshan with a double damage root on Luna, they were able to pick that one up and then smoke into the pit. Now, EG, I believe, actually saw the smoke because the Observe Warden was on the hillside, but either they're worried about the gank, which is why they're just huddling in the mid lane, and they haven't thought about a 17-minute Roshan.
They might not have seen Sam H had given his bottle to Raven, who had that DD bottled for a full minute and a half, and then they choose to make the smoke move. So I really like that decision. They needed Roche. Obviously, it's going to be a big advantage for them, but it's all because of that DD. And if you're EG, you probably don't expect that, to be honest, because that only happens because of double damage.
Yep. An easy enabler. DD, such a great rune, right? Especially in combination with an Iron or a Morphling. Never forget.
That was ridiculous. I didn't want to remember that sequence.
Backdoor regeneration is a thing, right? Like, works when creeps are on the opposite side of the map. Fresh Blink Dagger in for Tim, so SK being a lot more heavily enabled now.
Crit is so farmed. He has Blink Burrow. It's going to be fading soon. They see these TPs coming in.
Raven, again a glimpse. Death Prophet, oh, has an invis, but doesn't help when the Sentry Ward is right underneath him in the middle of the glimpse. Top lane is going to be the counter attack, however. Jump forward from Arteezy, as well as S4. It's a great initiation when Arteezy can just walk up with that Shadow Blade, and S4 knows he's going to connect with the Hoof Stomp.
Sumel not feeling the life of a mid laner at the moment. Fourth in net worth. Keeps getting killed. They're using all their spells on me, guys.
You know what, this amount of farm and this amount of levels, I think, is closer to when he was playing that 3 position for EG.
Well,
Hilariously
you got S4
enough,
now.
yeah, now you got S4.
Yeah, bottom lane, you're going to get a free tier 1. Luna with that Aegis, so it's a lot easier to go for this more selfish build where you don't buy a BKB because you have the Aegis to defend yourself with. still a bit afraid. I'm not sure if the mechanic still works, but you used to be able to Hurricane Pike Slark and force yourself back out of Pounce. Didn't work with Force Staff, but it did if you offensive piked near the end of the leash. Or I'm not sure if that still functions, but we'll probably find out by the end of the game.
I would have thought the leash would have held you in position.
I like the warding from EG as well. Fly with these 2 nice wards controlling the top.
Arteezy gets
top
an easy kill. Cuckoo. Okay, he's going to drop the ulti down, hoping for a follow-up, and they do actually have it. Blink forward, Burrow Strike into Eclipse. And Arteezy thought he was just getting a support hero. And that's actually what he did get, but it cost him his life.
Great sentry placed by Cuckoo. It's going to probably miss that ward. It looks just out of range, but
It is just out of range.
Another excellent play by the Cuckoo Disruptor. Just all ins. You take that trade to the bank, no problem.
Yeah, that's the #1 net worth hero at EG at the moment. In fact, by a long shot. Like, he's 9.3k net worth, and then the rest of EG follow behind. But the top 2 still belong, for the moment, to TNC. But with this time off the map for the Slark, they are losing out in that race.
Yep. And the Blade Mail finished on Armel. Like, EG not really getting much advantage out of the lack of BKBs on TNC. And at a certain point, you Bloodlust, or Blood Rage Luna, he pops BKB. No, everyone on EG is very susceptible to just dying.
Yeah. That's why you're probably seeing S4 rushing up this Aghanim Scepter. It's just the disengage as hard as you can. Just negate off all damage possible. And that's what S4's job is, just keep everyone alive. Cuckoo gonna be brought down. Raven, Hawk Stomp. S4 able to initiate on this one too. Armel, what do you want to do to try and help? He's gonna Rupture. And Arteezy walking just a little bit too far. He's just an inch's way forward. The blood rights down. Samael lets the only go, but what a rock! And the 3-man Fatal Bonds. Tims can Burrow Strike, but it feels like he's just delaying the inevitable. Armel will go down. Tims as well. The Luna is on the full run. Rubik blinking forward. Has the loose beam for control, as well as the Yearn. Dropping Raven down, blink off cooldown in 7 seconds time. You know S4's got his in a second, but it doesn't matter. Crit, so damn strong. Gets the last kill, and now 7-2-8 on this Rubik.
Yep. He's
the carry.
He's really farmed. This is unbelievable. And this is what happens when you have a guy like Fly selflessly buying every single support item to ensure that Crit gets to play the role of a true 4, or in this case, the 3, I suppose.
3.5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The musical chairs of EG's role in
Okay,
player matchup.
so what, Arteezy is now 1, Samael is now, S4 is now 2.
Yep.
Samael is now 3, Crit's 3.5, and then the 5.5 Fly.
Not quite a 6, but he's getting there.
Yeah. When he's able to get money from like that rock drop, that was perfect. Like, it couldn't have hit better. And then the Fatal Bonds, like, TNC knew that fight was over, but they're going to try and fight a new one, a 5-man smoke up around the mid lane. They've already sentryed up, so they don't see the Observe Ward on top lane, but they were not spotted doing their own smoke. Vision-wise, that Hawk's doing some work for him. They see how low the Slark is. Armel backed off. He thought he had a moment in the blink. Crit so quick, and they're going to glimpse him up. The Observe Ward on the hillside saw him. So Crit, he's quite a big kill. He's going to spend most of his money, but Armel will grab the 406 gold for the kill on the 3.5.
You know what they got that kill, Toby?
What got that kill? Disruptor?
Yeah, it did?
Oh,
There you go.
yeah. No, I hear he's a good hero. I hear.
I talk about damage amp a lot. Reach is another critical component to winning games, and Disruptor solves that problem all by himself. Just glimpse somebody in, collect your free gold.
The long arm of the law. Centaur's having a good time on bottom, just hiding in the trees. Wait for the next creep wave to skip out, and only 450 gold away from having the full Aghanim Scepter. So it's been a real good time for S4. He already had a good time on the top lane, being able to get that early Hood of Defiance. Makes him very difficult to kill now. 200 gold away. And TNC did not find the fight they're looking for. Not under the vision they established. And EG know, like, they know exactly where that Observer Ward is. 1, because they attacked it once. And 2, it ensured the kill onto the Rubik.
Yep.
So Crit will probably... Actually, he doesn't have sentries. Sorry, that's right. Fly.
Yep.
Fly's got sentries.
3 of them. Selfless.
He's a man of the people for the people. But even if this Observer Ward gets killed on the hillside, TNC are actually really smart to plan down another one, just a little bit further away. So EG may feel like they got rid of the vision on the field, but then they group up. Oh, don't tell me they... they dusted and they smoked underneath the Observer Ward. That's a misclick.
Or was it? Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it's a misclick. it's a lot of money to burn for no real reason.
Yeah. Aeon Disc soon to be finished on the Death Prophet. It's going to really help him out. But again, the Ags on Centaur finished. This is part of the reason they're smoking. They feel very confident they'll win a team fight in this phase of the game.
But they're gonna feel really bad about this and wonder, how does Tims even know? Breaks the smoke. They have the Observer Ward on the hillside. They throw down their own sentry. But now TNC are coming up. They're underneath their tier 2 tower on top lane. Blink forward. They just want the kill on the fly. S4 thinking about it. Aghanim's charging forward with the Stampede, but Rupture is also out. Arteezy will have to wait this one, but S4 stands his ground as we go once again. It's the stolen Rupture into a rock drop. The amount of damage that Armel is taking. He goes back underneath the tower. Maybe he can help out, but Chris jumping forward. He wants that kill. He wants to find the opening, and maybe with that ultimate from Samel, they have it. Woo, Tims.
No BKB Luna, Toby. Doesn't matter that he's top net worth until that fight. He can't fight because, dude, no BKB.
Just gonna say,
He got Fatal Bonded. They're running at him. What do you do?
you don't really do anything. And because they knew that there was no damage with that Aghanim's Centaur ulti, and then Crit, his positioning to grab that Rupture, basically deletes so hard from the fight.
Yep.
Like Bloodseeker ran away. I actually thought it was on our say on Arteezy at the beginning from TNC, but the effectiveness of Crit's abilities have been so much more than the originals. Flies in trouble underneath that Observer and Sentry. He'll go down.
And to note, they did have BKB on Bloodseeker, but he got ruptured.
Yeah.
So now all of a sudden, both of your cores, even though you're top in net worth, you can't actually take the fight, and EG slaughter him.
Yep.
Still anybody's game though. They used Golem for that. EG not going to look to fight for probably a couple of minutes. Start finishing his BKB soon, but again, if he gets ruptured, all of a sudden, that BKB is not going to matter.
Yeah. It's when you start to wonder too, like after BKB, do you look for extra layers of protection? Obviously Slark wants to be a killer, but do you get the Lincoln's feels?
Maybe. I'm not sure. I think you might be better off just itemizing for raw damage output and just playing around not getting ruptured. The concern I have with Lincoln's is that if it just gets procced and then you're ruptured anyway, you're not doing any damage. So you're farming slower throughout the game, and then in a team fight, you don't have the same burst potential as if you went, I don't know, Moon Shard or MKB, Butterfly, whatever you're feeling. In this game, I think you might want a Silver Edge really early. You actually remove the Bloodseeker passive, even if he BKBs afterwards, so he's not thirst move speed increased, and you can just do significant damage to him before that comes online. You remove Beastmaster and Luna Aura too.
Shadow Blade from Arteezy, going to try and get some information. Tim's already pushed in the top lane. As that SK just doing what he does best. And now the smoke will break. They're worried about vision on the hillside. They see the sentry will put down their own obs. And by killing the sentry, they reveal their own position. But Roshan's up. Evil Genius is ready to fight, but TNC is also itching for the same thing.
Golem in 10 seconds. Surprise Cuckoo didn't D-ward there. EG will have vision now for this upcoming engagement. If you're TNC, you do not want to walk up a high ground with no vision.
But their Observer Ward and Sentry saw TNC went that way, so they have one up near the Ancients in front of Roshan.
Crit still with Rupture as well. You're feeling really good if you're EG.
Here comes Slark, he's visible, walking underneath the Sentry Ward, and they just pop everything they've got. S4 can let the ulti out, but with the rock drop, Arteezy is in space to actually fight. Well, actually, yeah, he tanks through it. The Eclipse is also tanked through most of it. Okay, now Arteezy will finally die. Samel exits him, not doing enough work, as here comes Crit, and with his own Eclipse all over TNC, give this man a medal. S4 held him in position, but that is playing a win.
Crit just single-handedly won that fight. He ruptured the Bloodseeker again, then steals Luna ult and cleans up the rest of the team. You cannot ask for more, but I fear that you can't always play perfect Rubik. And what happens if, say, he dies at the start of a fight?
Okay, I'm going to stop you right there. Fear isn't in EG anymore, so they're playing without fear.
Good one. They force a buyback on just the Sand King, but you'll take it. Crit going Ags next. I like the choice.
It's enough to bail out and then think about Roshan. Death Prophet doesn't have her exorcism, however, so I don't know if EG can actually get Rosh. And can actually TNC... Can TNC force the fight while Rock is down?
Probably. I think you can get away with it, especially now that you know there's no more Rupture up on the Rubik. That was the reason both those fights went in the favor of EG, because Bloodseeker is, you know, movement speed based. He wants to run around to fight and keep dropping people, but you cannot do that when Ruptured. I'm gonna go Radiant's fourth item. A real
They're
strain.
chasing Tim's.
He's the
Centaur
buyback.
Stampede being burned for this one. RTZ counts in 1 second time. TP support's on the way. Disruptor actually cancelling it after beginning it. That's enough to dissuade EG from continuing the pressure. That's the one area where EG, well, actually, they have one observer while just watching the movement. But yeah, EG, they're coming in. They want to try and fight this. I mean, TNC. Rock is still a minute away.
Dude, Rosh is so hard now. Over 200. Well, almost 200.
For a guy that's as big, it's about time he became stronger.
Yeah.
Raven's tanking it. And they are going to get through it. EG aren't coming in time. The Radiant, we can put a scan down just to make sure. And that's it.
Huge Rosh.
Aegis and Cheese into Luna. But what can they do with this? Like, what does that mean for the next fight? Because you will have Stampede, Rock, and Exorcism up now for Evil Geniuses. Do they still look to fight into this and have the confidence?
Sure. You can see them smoke right away. You just need a pick off. You got to kill somebody before they get their ult off.
But
Obviously,
they don't have the Luna. Oh, they're going to use the fact that RTC just pinged out the Observe Ward. The Fly's coming to T1. Using the Slark against him. Crit. Okay, they look for a different target. Kill the Warlock off quickly. Go through the Rubik.
Yep.
And now they'll run down mid.
those are the easy targets, the supports. Because even if Centaur ult's there, yeah, you might keep him alive for a few more fractions of a second, but then it's on cooldown, obviously, and you can't use that offensively. If you can force EG to either give up supports or use ultimates defensively, you're going to win fights. And this is where it gets scary. You're going to see a buff Luna just start wrecking towers. And I think you might even keep going if you're TNC.
Yeah,
You got
why
great
not?
team fight on EG, but your poke is severely limited, and you don't have the ability to take skirmishes. You want full-on committal, and 2 heroes dead, you can't do that.
Yep.
Look at this Luna. Beastmaster Aura, Bloodseeker buff.
Not too shabby when she's that strong. Fortification's the only thing that's going to slow it down, but the new creep wave has arrived. I always wonder if that does actually slow you down when the glaives can do more work. Samel's trying to get rid of the creep wave, but Rubik, 14 seconds before he's back up again. Buyback is available. Fatal Bonds connects him. S4. Well, he connects on the hook stomp, but Hurricane Pike from Raven creates space. That mid tower, 16 HP. And EG probably considering denying it, but not going to happen. TNC are backing up already.
I'm surprised they didn't commit a bit more there. Maybe they're just waiting for the Radiance on Armel, but I don't think that item is going to be relevant. You're just going to see Centaur finish his pipe.
Might have been worried about just the high ground defensive EG. All those abilities which we're talking about being up. Fatal Bonds was burned a little bit earlier on in the push, but give some respect to EG.
Four sentries on Cuckoo. Just continuing to hunt vision. Not much vision on the map at the moment for either team.
It's going to be hard for TNC to keep established. Like, Evil Geniuses have themselves a walking detection in the form of Arteezy. Yeah, she came back down to look for that Observer Ward, but the sentry that the Fly put down is not in range of it. So he knows there's vision there somehow.
It's so annoying. Whenever a ward's like a couple hundred units outside of range, you almost never end up getting it because you just don't expect it. He plays for a different like triple ward position. Figure you guessed wrong when in reality you just oh so close.
Missed it by that much. Hello, Heart for S4. So
Wow.
to go along with the Hood of Defiance, he's I was actually waiting for him to do like the Centaur return, but he's gone for the plus 75 damage and 300 double edge. Can't get TNC to kill themselves that easy.
I don't mind it, especially when you consider that Bloodseeker buff increases damage taken by 40%. 700 per double edge. That's a 4-second cooldown, Toby. Consider there's Fatal Bonds as well. It's a lot of damage. And it's not like you have any health issues when you're running around with a heart. He has 4,500 HP.
Not too shabby. Evil Geniuses. They're grouped up in their base like they look like they want to smoke. They have one available on the Warlock. But they have no vision, they have no information on where to fight apart from that one observable. It's actually going to go through almost an entire duration of its life. It saw TNC moving south. And still, Arteezy. Slark goes into the lane. You can see him four-star Tim's forward. Blink, Burrow Strike, connects the target. Someone bring protection. Yes, they did. Arteezy glimpses him back with the Raw. They just control him. Knew he was going to BKB. And that's a 73-second opening now for TNC without a buyback on the Slark. He doesn't have the money.
They'll see that too because he just bought a Basher. They'll know that he most likely does not have buyback. And I again question, what are you doing there?
The observable saw them move down south. Just wanted a little bit of extra cash by the looks of it. Had confidence to survive, but TNC came in force, and now they're not pressuring in straight away on the bottom lane. They backed off for a second so Raven could buy up his Manta style. And they're actually turning their attention towards mid. It was one hit to bring that down, and this now makes the Glaives impossible for anyone from EG to stay close. Crit's going to be back past the shrine, past the fountain, sorry, in order to survive. And they smoke up. They can close the distance. Fighting this without a Slark and Rupture off cooldown, 8 seconds time, plus a fresh Radiance. This will be problematic. And there goes the Aegis. Okay, that may just be the push gone from TNC now. Slark's up in a second. Well, I say a second. 10 of them now.
One mistake, they're going to lose a Rax. Next mistake, possibly be the game. Roche won't be an objective for another 6 minutes or so. Or sorry, 3 to 6 minutes. But I'm a bit scared if I'm EG. You don't really have any team fight items coming up. They purchased all of them already.
No.
Now
Unless you had something like the Crimson Guard or a Pipe, like that would be well over from S4. But he's actually going Shivas instead.
Armel's finished his Radiance. Like both him and Luna are continuing to scale very aggressively. Sam H, like his net worth is lower than the rest of the cores on EG, but you're a Beastmaster. He's got 2 initiation items and a Solar Crest, and by just standing next to his cores with his aura active, like he's doing his job.
I like how Arteezy's now trying to play the vision game, picked up a Gem of True Sight. This, of course, isn't as great, mainly because, like, okay, well, there is one Observer Ward down. That's actually quite fresh in the mid lane. So if he does pick that up, that's kind of like the only other vision. You got the defensive ward on top lane inside the Die Jungle, too. I'm just wondering how much Arteezy will see of this.
It's just risky. EG, you're still susceptible. Like, once again, we were talking about this. Sunsfan brought it up. When you play pubs, you're Slark against Bloodseeker. At some point you get ruptured. There is nothing you can do about it. So it's still that same. It's the same. It's just initiation. If TNC gets the jump, they're going to get that first kill.
Yep.
And then the Disruptor Glimpse might set up for a second. And then Luna Beastmaster might just crush your base. Next Roche is paramount to EG's chances of winning and staying alive when it comes to their chances of reaching the upper bracket.
Well, he may spawn in about 1 minute. Reaching the upper bracket is still such a tough run for them too. That's the run they have to make after losing that first best of 3, but at least all the games are best of 3s. We're not going to have a repeat of Birmingham here.
I once again love the TNC items. You got an Aeon Disc on the Sand King. Yep. 5 sentries on Cuckoo.
That initial,
love to see it.
That initial jump in from Tim's where, like I said before, right? Like he's so willing to throw himself at the enemy and doesn't care like if he dies. And even right now, like even if EG want to kill him, they can't just because of Aeon. Not straight away. Tim's 4-star looks for the blink. Sumail very quick to blink away. Didn't go to the trees, went north instead, hiding underneath their own observer ward. It's like they still want to have a fight. That's why they throw down the sentry ward. But TNC will not oblige. They have still got the momentum in the mid lane. They're pushing the momentum on the bottom lane. Even left a couple of illusions of Luna behind to keep that pressure on. And Evil Geniuses, they're the ones who are forced to try and have some level of reaction to the lanes. TNC are happy to accept the status quo.
I'm not sure. I don't know how EG is going to deal with the 6-slotted Luna in this game. Theoretically, it's going to be the Slark, but as I keep bringing up, when you're playing against Bloodseeker, you just don't have that luxury.
Yeah. And always keeps seeing to like Arteezy keeps getting initiated on. And the save from Evil Geniuses, Crit had done so much work in the mid game, but he's been asked like so much to do.
If you're EG, you got to dangle this Centaur of S4. Make them rupture him. use a bunch of spells. Even if he goes down, that's near 5,000 health they got to break through. Just let him die.
And if
right?
if he can get the Stampede off, that's like that's so much more as well they have to do to get through him.
Yep, you just got to bait S4. Bait S4, turn it around with the rest of your team. If you're TNC, rupture the Slark, kill the support.
Okay, they're baiting S4 right now.
Yep.
Tim's going to start. Here comes your
Oh,
Beastmaster Roar. Disruptor puts down the Static Storm as well as the ulti. He puts up the pipe. Nice rock and Fatal Bonds, but they do not have Arteezy. So S4, he'll Stampede, but it'll bring in Arteezy a little bit quicker, but already S4 is down.
They're just not ready. That's the right play. It is the right play, but there's no Slark, which means they're not confident to counter-initiate because Arteezy is still 15 seconds away. Like that.
And Roshan's going to spawn in 10 seconds time.
That's exactly what they wanted to do, but they just aren't ready.
Now there's no Rock, there's no Exorcism,
Yeah.
there's no Centaur and Stampede, and Roshan is spawning right now.
Hey.
So
It's just new team issues where you're just not on the same page, and
Yeah.
when you're playing Dota at this level, 5-10 seconds, like that's the difference between winning and losing a big team fight. Luna DD, they know Roche is up, you just walk into the pit.
Yep. And with that Aegis Immortal in her backpack, you know she'll just be happy to finish off by picking up the rest of the Skadi. Even her illusions just force down the mid lane. So if EG buy back, yeah they will, but it's not
No
going to stop
golem.
him. That's a double damage on Raven. He'd love to take the fight, even though his BKB's on cooldown for 6 more seconds. That Warlock making real problems for Sam H. Bob was stolen. Okay, you got the blood right from Crit. Once again, the savior of EG.
It's really good. It gives vision as well, of course, so they're always able to check the pit.
There's the smoke. So TNC,
See, it's another good angle like they had in the previous game.
EG have a scan available, so they could potentially... Are they actually trying to bait with these Beastmaster, like, units? A little bit more difficult to do. The smoke wrap around, they're going to come close to the tier 2 tower. And once again, TNC
Great
did this
angle.
in game 1. They find the perfect smoke angle, but EG... They're a little bit further down. Now Tim's Blink, Fire Strike, over on 2, and the Stormfall. They can push Sumail down with the 4-star. They counter the same thing to S4, and Arteezy just runs in, puts on the Shadow Dance. His BKB will wear off. He's stealing some essence, and the Blink, Fire Strike. They try and create more space once again, but there goes the hit. Arteezy will fall to Raven. Crit's being hunted too. Now Mel, such high movement speed, nowhere to go. Blood right it up. Cricket at least Yule Sifter, so you can spin me around, and a Fire Strike down. Not much more he can do from that. Raven gets the triple kill. They'll go in and finish off Roshan, and more than likely finish EG after that.
Not much more to say, Toby. Another incredible smoke angle from TNC. They catch EG's napping, double stun. Centaur dies without getting a spell off.
Oh boy. Okay, Sam H took so much damage from that clap.
Yeah, man. Roche hits real hard.
Try to make it a little bit more difficult for teams to get him, and instead of just throwing 3 people inside the pit.
And that's a hard Centaur. But you know why he's dying so fast, Toby?
Why?
Because he has absolutely no armor items on Centaur. He has 6 armor. Yeah.
He could have bought the plate mail before the fight began, so at least he would have had the +10, but it would have cost him his buyback.
I think even a casual buckler, a medallion, like anything would help S4, but
Actually, he may as
he's
well
just getting
spend the
crushed by Luna.
He may as well spend the cash. His buyback's on cooldown.
Yep.
Like the courier just made a trip to the shop to pick up the Silver Edge for Arteezy. So they're going to try and break... Well, yeah, let's see who they break. There's enough auras on this team, but I don't think that I was concerned about that. Maybe reduce the damage. And here comes the Glaives. EG, smoke up. Only way they can close the distance. Hoof stomp forward. After the Luna. Remember, she's the Aegis Immortal. So they successfully break that into the lines. Here's your rupture out. Arteezy must stand his ground and wait this out. Rock will fall. It gets his mini stun out, but then again, you don't have the Fatal Bonds connecting it. Instead, you have SK turning around with the Epicenter and gets the double Fire Strike onto the Disruptor Wall. Sumail and S4, they cannot escape. Raven has way too much damage. EG try and return to their base, but it won't happen. S4, he'll go down. The Glimpse onto the Slark. Blink forward from Sam H. He'll get back. That's a nice thing when you get the double Fire Strike from Crypt, but then Tim returns with his own double Fire Strike and the pickup with the Telekinesis. Not enough space created for evil geniuses. Raven, he will die. Thanks to the Fate Vault that's finally coming in. And TNC, there's actually a lot of heroes lost for them. Cuckoo, they have a... Yeah, they do. Yule Scepter up. They make sure he has to stand his ground, and this disruptor will also fall eventually. It'll take some time. How very anticlimactic. Oh, no. No. Oh, Sumail. Up, down, around, Cuckoo. He's just waiting it out. Okay, you have the Shiva's Guard. That'll do the job to get the vision. And he was wasting Sumail's time.
You know, totally unrelated to that last fight, but I find there's a distinct lack of all chat wheeling, and offensive tipping. I think Cuckoo, while he was waiting in the trees, could have done at least a couple of them.
You're trying to get in the head of EG. It looks like hey, I'm happy to see a team just focus on the game. The game.
No one watching wants that. They're here for drama, okay? The entire Dota community right now already has their posts ready, okay? You got one to flame EG in the event they end up losing this game, and then another waiting to praise them in the event they pull out a miracle comeback.
I'm sorry.
I'm sure they never would have doubted
I forgot I was sitting next to the Reddit Oracle. Let's have a look at this fight again and actually talk about something I care about.
Yeah. They get the immediate Aegis pop, a huge silence from Sumail, but it all goes back to Arteezy is ruptured.
Yep.
They win this fight were it not for Bloodseeker. And, you know, you pointed to the choice to skip the Lincolns. Watching the game, I mean...
You start to think, like, is it a better choice? Because it's...
Yeah, Armel knows his job. He is not rupturing anybody else. Like, maybe they'll initiate on a Centaur, but he understands my job is rupture Arteezy. As long as he does that, the Slark is neutralized.
I still love the work that Chris has been putting in these fights. Like, like right now, if I give an MVP for this entire series, I'm still going to put it on Crit. Even though Game 1 was fantastic for TNC, the amount of lifting that Crit has done in this game too is unbelievably high.
Yep.
And now he's going to try and protect them even more, so he's got a Lotus Orb. So the Lotus Orb might be able to at least return the rupture that Arteezy keeps getting hit with.
I don't know if that's going to be enough. I really think he needed a Lincoln's. Like, Arteezy is not even going for one. He's buying a
He's still a Scotty lined up. Like, he's got the Skull Basher, but maybe he's feeling like now it's just sustained through it. Like, if I tank the rupture, no one else has to.
He's just like the main source of sustained damage in these fights for EG. Once the cooldowns go down, yeah, you have the Death Prophet, but Slark's there. He's your win condition, and he just can't play the game.
How does it actually work with, like, because does Deceptive damage actually get reduced by, sorry, Deceptive Stampede damage? Does it reduce the rupture?
Yeah, it reduces all sources of damage. It just lowers.
So technically, if he has enough HP and he triggers off the Shadow Dance,
No.
with the regeneration he's got, no?
You can't fight the rupture.
I'm trying to justify what Arteezy is doing, all right? Just give him
It's not Arteezy, it's the team. You need a secondary Lincolns if possible, just because there's methods of canceling it on TNC.
So you just buy Lincolns and put it onto Arteezy, so he can still be the combat build that he wants to be.
Exactly. He goes Lincolns into raw damage.
Unfortunately, the rest of his team doesn't have enough money. Like, they're still short. There's 16,000 gold behind. At least the experience is a little bit closer.
Oh, man. And S4 is still got 6 armor, man.
Here comes your fight. Cuckoo, the front lines, that's easy. He wants it. S4 gets the hook stomp off, and they do delete the Disruptor. And this is the fight that EG were really, really looking for. TNC in retreat. They don't get the initial jump. Arteezy got pounced in 1 second time, and the Bloodseeker offers himself up. You're going to turn the Blade Mail on Arteezy, and Sumail happy to kill themselves for it. They're hoping for Roshan, but he won't respawn for another 2 minutes and 20 seconds at the earliest. Fred gives wards down. He cuts the trees with the Actor, so we'll almost get the vision on Tim's.
This is a really scary part of the game now for TNC. Roche did not spawn, but for a long time now, Slark is going to have a bonus 30 agility. And you're forced to buy back into a powerful Slark. It gets scary. Arteezy's going to sniff out this high ground ward. He'll probably ping it. Yep, he does. That's going to be taken out. Some really good wards from TNC in the EG jungle. I'd like to see them clear those as well if possible.
Extra money for Fly. I love the new changes to the wards as well. It actually gives support something, plus 197 for Fly. He's got 2.6k almost gold on the Warlock. Like, they're actually finding money in these team fights, and it's trickling down into the supports. Yeah, we haven't had a new item on the Centaur in a while. And that's why, because, okay, he's going 2 boots. It makes sense when you have 4 legs. But then again, the boots only show 1 boot, so technically he needs to have 4.
True. Should probably let him know. You can
Yeah.
pause the game real fast.
Yeah. Oh, wow. He's going to break that one up. Pick up over on Sam H. Crit wants to get control going. Samel in here too does not have that exit, but they have the rock and the fatal bonds. It doesn't connect. They just want Raven, who BKBs, runs away. He has the Menacel available, but then S4, they stampede forward. Once again, Cuckoo is target number uno. They're going to go for more. They actually caught out Sam H with the hook stomp. Pounds forward. Arteezy can bring in the extra damage, and they're finding another pickoff. That stolen Lucid Beam. It held Raven in position, so S4 can jump forward the rock. It doesn't get the punch in. So Luna, very lucky to survive with his life. Where are you going, Tims? He's using the Hawk to try and creep skip. All right, cool. Gets the haste rune, gets the illusion rune. Checked Roshan.
Yep. As always, it's going to come down to this third Roche. You got Aegis, Refresher Shard, Cheese.
I love how they're still checking it. Like it's still another 10 seconds before he might spawn up. I wonder if someone got the counter.
Toby.
Optimistic. S4 wants to be optimistic, chasing Tims through the tree line. Very difficult kill to get with the A on disc, and Tims just, yeah, he hides it out perfectly.
Let's see what spawn we got. 14 seconds, so fast spawn. That's why they're checking, Toby.
Hmm?
But will they go back in is the question.
Well, Samel's in the neighborhood. Everyone else is a little bit further away, and thanks to TNC's aggressive vision, they understand who's inside the dire jungle. The pressure on bottom lane. They got the SK once again. BT's SK does the work, gets so much money from this, and goes towards buying up that side device. Lunar Illusions charging into the middle of the TNC lineup.
Yep. Once again, Arteezy going for a Scotty.
Oh, they found the target. The bash on the Bloodseeker, at least got his BKB off. Blamefelt holding it for now, taking so much damage. Surprised he didn't just trigger it anyway. The buyback is available for the Bloodseeker, but Raven burns his BKB once more. It's a 5-second BKB, but the bigger thing with Samel's ultimate, they must make this work, and Roshan's alive to do exactly that.
Yeah, there's the Dream Initiation. If they can initiate on the Bloodseeker, that allows their Spark to keep playing Dota.
They have to buy back on the Bloodseeker and TP him in towards the Shrine. This is the only way this is going to work for TNC. Close the distance. S4 holds in very tight. The Beastmaster Hawk giving him the vision. They know that Roshan's so low, but they have to go now. Where's this Blink Fire Strike? In it comes Roshan. Who's going to get the kill on this one? Quick gets a stolen Fire Strike. Roshan down. The Storm is down. Roshan, Arteezy gets it. They have the kill, but here comes your Eclipse with the Clay. Bounce damage. Evil Geniuses. They are locked in a horrible, horrible scenario. Samel's back up. So is Arteezy. They have a regeneration rune, and maybe they actually have the sustain to do this damage. You have to have Arteezy stand his ground. He has the BKB, so the Glimpse Rupture doesn't kill him. But now they charge after. They're looking for Disruptor. The Burrow Strike from Tims creates more space. And you have Raven. I don't know how he's managed to live through all of this. The Fatal Bonds haven't killed him off. They get the bash onto Armel. Your Scepter is SK, taking out the fight for half a second, but he's got Blink Burrow Strike off right now, and he goes deeper up the Warlock. Understand that Armel already has an Ultra kill. Make it a rampage, and they can get more. Crit got glimpsed down again. They still have extra vision thanks to Thunderstrike. Armel, they turn for it. Will they give him the double? You better. Tim, that is not yours to have. This is not your food. There it is. It's a double rampage for Armel. TNC, they can look towards the base. The mid-rank's already gone. The top lane's pushing in. They've got the momentum.
Toby, S4 has 5,000 health and 6 armor. And as I've said many times, EHP for positive armor scales linearly. Buy armor when you have this much health. He doesn't. He gets solar crested. He's dying in like 4 Luna hits. That's 7 kills for Armel, and they just won the game.
Yeah, they did.
Holy guacamole!
I could do for some block right now.
Well, he's gonna have a lot of time. They got a whole day off.
Yeah.
They can snack, figure out what went wrong here.
Yeah. Someone find these guys a taco. Maybe they can get themselves some some kind of jazz back into this draft, because it definitely feels like EG is not on the same page. Item-wise, understanding their opponents as well. But you also have to understand, they've only had this roster for, what, 2-3 days? The preparation time hasn't been there. It's a lot of work to do. They have to understand TNC as well, a team who... I don't think if anyone thinks these guys are underdogs, then yeah, they're false. Like, TNC are a really, really strong team.
I don't want to have us read too much into this, because you can definitely expect growing pains for EG.
Yep.
They are in the group of death. TNC is an excellent Dota 2 team, as is VP, as is Vici. Like, these teams are all teams you can expect to be at least top 8, arguably top 4.
Yeah.
And they're just not there yet, like as far as EG goes. Like you saw a couple of fights, the one where Arteezy was farming top, they bait the Centaur middle.
Yeah.
He's not quite, like maybe he buys different items. He's a little tankier. That buys the time for Arteezy to get there.
Yeah.
But 4 players are ready to make this move, to make this bait.
And then they end up having to burn the Stampede to actually get him into the fight after S4 is already going to go down. So, yeah, you're right. Like I always thought like Slark would be pouncing onto the back lines, like forcing problems for the supports. And eventually they did start doing that. Like Cuckoo and Tims became their priority targets to try and bring down. And every time they brought down Cuckoo, the fights were so much better for EG. But then TNC's position got even better.
I again point to they did not recognize what I feel like beat them.
Yeah.
Series 1, it's the Bounty Hunter. Ban it. Series 2, it's the Disruptor. Ban it. But they're wasting bans on cores like Lifestealer that who cares? You can counter that.
Panel,
Get rid of Wing Condition.
do you care, Panel?
I mean, I personally don't care, but the panel guys might care. Let's check in. Gods, what did you make of that?
I don't care what Kyle thinks.
Don't care what Carl
Nah,
thinks.
at
Shannon?
all.
You got to ban Bloodsuit. He's the best hero in the game.
Okay, so
obviously.
Shannon doesn't care either. Admiral Bulldog, do you care about Kyle or not?
No.
Okay, great. Glad we've cleared that one up. Gods, what did you make of the match?
Fantastic. That was a lot of fun. The whole series has been highlight so far today and feels like a lot to live up for the rest of the tournament, but really, really great 2 games.
Yeah, lot of fun, Shannon. You've got to appreciate the Dota in front of you.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like a stomp one way or the other. Lots of back and forth. The games have been pretty long, but still entertaining. And I hate to say it. I agree with Kyle because we were talking about it earlier. We talked about it pregame, right? Like, why not ban Disruptor second phase? If it gets that far, that's insane not to ban that. Definite MVP for me though, Cuckoo.
Okay.
But
Mr. Bulldog?
does Bloodseeker actually? Okay, we talked about how Bloodseeker owns Slark, right? Is it supposed to be that bad though? Like that is.
I mean,
Very hard.
I only know pubs, Shannon, so
Yes.
Yeah.
Pubs it works.
it does.
For sure.
Yes.
We saw many fights where you just get ulted and he can't do anything. Like he's just standing there, he can't move,
Yeah.
and you die.
He-
So it's a good counter for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
He's a chasing hero too, so even if you stand still and don't die to Rupture, you're not fulfilling your purpose as a Slark in a team
And
fight.
right there, we see Crit doing an amazing job in the early game, stealing Eclipse, Rupture. You actually saw them stop casting those spells early in the engagements just to prevent him from stealing them, because they are quite easy to take. So TNC, I think, doing a good job of preparing for that.
Here we see S4. He's super tanky. I think he's got a heart at this point. And you're like, oh, well, he's just dead. Right? He's just dead. And one problem was that he did not buy his plate mail. He's sitting there on 6 armor, just getting clicked by the course, and he just dies. He's like, just get that plate mail. You need that 10 armor. The amount of effective HP there is insane. But he never got it, I believe, because he wanted a big buyback.
Did you guys feel the impact of Ags on Centaur at all? Because it's one of those things, when you pick it up on Centaur, you kind of lose this, like if you use it as initiation, right, Stampede, which a lot of times you want to do, you lose the entire effect of Ags, which we saw a couple times coming from S4. And it's not his fault at all, because they don't really have the greatest initiation other than that, because Warlock is more of a counter-initiate as well.
I think it's hard because fights last too long. It's kind of how I look at it. Like the 7 seconds is decent, but just not quite long enough to make a difference. But still worth getting, I think, for the price point of Ag Scepter. It just isn't like an instant game changer. Like it used to be like 70% or something block.
60.
Yeah.
60 to 50 to 40.
Yeah. Well, it was more, wasn't it? I'm pretty sure it was 70. Pretty sure.
Maybe.
It was so good.
Either way.
It was so good.
Super good. Yeah, we're not seeing it. I mean, I don't know. Like on paper, I was talking about how, in theory, it could be really good because you have like Beastmaster roaring from the other side of the map. You just Stampede. That's 40% mitigation towards that. Anytime Eclipse is cast, but they just do so much physical damage.
That's a
Again.
5k
Yeah, this
HP
was-
Centaur.
Yeah. No
melted.
armor again. And that was mainly physical right there, just
Yeah.
melting.
Yeah, this Roche fight was real bad.
Yeah. There was,
I mean, they got the Aegis.
Did it feel to you that this was kind of like a mirror of the first game, but the other way around for the first maybe 25, 30 minutes? It was quite close all the way
A little
through.
bit.
EG
I mean, if you look
probably
at-
didn't have the Roche fights, but they had the DP, so they were a bit
Right.
slower.
Yeah, there's always that DP factor, right?
Yeah.
Because if your ult's not up, you're, I won't say useless, but in a lot of ways you are. You're not going to be able to take buildings as fast.
Yeah,
Roche.
I mean, it was what we saw in game 1 for TNC. They were patient, weren't they? They played around it. They were like, okay, well, we haven't got it up, so we're not taking a team fight right now.
But also helps to have the best counter in the game for the opposing carry.
Yeah.
Like the counter it's global, and it's passive, right? So
The great thing is it counts as Slark, but it's like Bloodseeker's not even the hero that's meant to win you the game. That's the Luna. Luna's the one carrying the game. Meanwhile, the kind of quote-unquote carrying the other team's countered by like your 2-position hero, which is a fantastic spot to be in.
Is that the first Rampage we've had today as well?
double Rampage. But yeah,
Yes.
I think so.
But
Either
first one,
way.
I don't think there've been any other game. I mean, I haven't seen it on the mainstream, so not in this
Second
group
one,
anyway.
third, fourth stream, not sure exactly on those.
Is he the MVP then?
Who?
Armel?
No, Cuckoo, 100%.
Yeah, okay.
At least that's what I think. I don't know what you guys think.
I don't know. I think everyone played pretty well. I don't think Bloodseeker will be the MVP.
You can't give the MVP to Aeon Disc this time.
No.
We'll give Crit the MVP for his Rubik. I was watching that game. I'm like, man, this guy's definitely the MVP if EG win. And they don't win, but he's still borderline MVP there.
Yeah. All right. Okay, apparently we've got an interview ready for you, so let's go over there and join them right.
You have a double Rampage at the end of second game. How do you feel right now?
I mean, it's fine, nothing special. Yeah.
I've been noticing in the first game, it's actually pretty easy, a pretty clean victory for you guys. But the second game go back and forth a little bit, and you guys win a crucial Roche team fight. What happening in the second game?
I mean, it's really hard to keep fighting them because the Rubik is really strong. You have a early dagger. Yeah.
Do you, out of 10, how many points you gonna give to your Bloodseeker play on the game 2?
How many points?
How many points out of 10?
I mean, like, I think it's just 5.
Just 5. You're not satisfied that much. I mean, you got a double Rampage.
But like, it's still really hard to play.
Okay. Meta has been shuffled a lot. From the previous patch, it's more like a tri-lane. Right now, it's more like dual lanes and team fight a lot. As the meta keep developing for your team, which do you prefer the current meta?
Yeah, I mean, we prefer the current meta because we like to keep fighting them and.
Yeah, just winning, right?
Yeah.
All right, so you have it's a long day, but you still have one more game to play. How do you rate your next opponent?
We just prepared and we know that BG is the strong team. So let's see what happens.
Okay, with that, let's go back to the analyst desk.
Yes, thank you very much. Marshall there with the interview. He said nothing special, 5 out of 10.
Humble player.
It's not very good, is it?
Yeah, and I think he did make some mistakes early on where he got a bit aggressive.
Sure,
died
but
a
it
few
was a
times,
5
so-
out of 10 game. Got a
Yeah,
double
no, it's-
Rampage.
Oh, maybe for a pub, that's pretty average. I don't know.
Yeah,
Against the Slark especially.
Great game for me if I get 5 out of 10.
In the pro game, you're always very critical of those mistakes you make because you're like, oh, we could have lost the game because I messed up here. So I'd say it's at least an 8 out of 10, though.
All right, well, let's check in with the scoreboard and show you that because this won't be a 5 out of 10 game as far as the scoreboard is concerned because it will tell us a completely different story. 17, 8 and 13 for our man Armel, but maybe not the MVP. In on 29 of the kills for Mr. Carlo, a.k.a. Cuckoo, who I think is probably your MVP, is it? I know it's definitely one man's MVP. Are you going to join him on that?
I'm going to say Tim's is MVP because at 44 minutes, they got team wiped. And EG was like, they were just sitting back in the rune spawn, and they didn't pick them up at all. That's 45 minutes. That's a lot of gold. And he was like, I'll just pick up all 4. And they win the game after that. So,
4, he picks up runes and you give him the MVP.
The
runes?
runes?
He gets
The runes?
The runes?
The runes?
The runes?
No, sorry, the runes? Is that better now? Have I got it? Okay, so Tims gets the MVP for the runes? Terrible. I don't know. Production, I think you're trolling us. I mean, Cuckoo played well. Darmel with a double Rampage. Apparently production likes runes too.
That's right.
I think a lot of these are
Unbelievable.
also
The
based
first
on
time in the whole history of Dota that a player has been awarded the MVP for picking out 4 runes.
The bounties are quite good now. They've been buffed over time.
Very
right?
good.
Please don't
They just got
encourage him,
nerfed.
Shadow. He
They got
doesn't need any
nerfed.
more
So
encouragement.
overall, the 5
Yeah,
minutes,
yeah.
just picking each one up, it feels so much better than before. Before it's like, got a couple gold for myself. Now you're giving it to your team. You're not selfish anymore for picking up those runes. You know?
All right, I make that 2 MVPs out of 2. They had a great game on the Sand King in the first game. I think you got MVP from us in that one as well. 2 out of 2. All he needs to do is play Sand King and pick up runes. Easy life.
Or it gets banned next game.
Yeah, or that.
There is that too, yes.
I think Disruptor is. I'd be shocked if they go into the next series. It's not banned at some point. I mean, they probably take it. I would guess first 2.
Yeah.
That's pretty standard, I would say, when you have a really good Disruptor player. But I mean, Vici plays it well, so.
Or Vici like plan and picking some cores that match up well, like the
Yeah.
Lifestealer has always been a popular pick against.
Do you think they would pick it first 2 though? That Lifestealer, I feel
Possible.
so bad
Yeah,
sometimes.
we've seen it a few times, haven't we? Lifestealer +1 has been okay. Anyway, we're going to move on. Let's take a look at the group standings and update you as to where we are, because we've got 2 groups going on at exactly the same time. Obviously, lots of matches all day long. And Group A looks a little like this right now. Team Liquid safely through. They've gone 2-0 in their group, obviously winning 2-1 earlier on after being shocked by the G Kiro. Shout out to Lacoste for that one. Team Spirit picking up 1 game in that one, but ultimately losing in the best of 3. Newbie right now will take on Team Spirit because Na'Vi not back either. They've lost both their games today again, and Newbie 2-0'd them earlier on, and they've lost 2-0 to their local rivals from the CIS region, Team Spirit. So Newbie versus Spirit is the final game, the decider match in Group A. Over in Group B, which is what we're focused on right now, let's take a look at that one and show you where we are, because Virtus Pro obviously cruising through earlier on. Though TNC did take a game off them in that opening match of the day. Evil Genius is currently 0-2 and 0-4 in games. Unfortunately, their brand new 5-man lineup hasn't managed to win a game just yet, but they will get another chance because they'll be in the lower bracket of the main event the day after next. Vici will now take on TNC in our final game of the day. That's the next matchup. So I remember back to the start of the day, Kyle said that group looked like it was already in order, as in Virtus Pro, Vici Gaming, TNC, EG. Is that how it's going to work out?
Maybe. I think Vici has had a long run this year in the DPC of just failing at the last minute.
I prefer to see it as reaching a lot of finals.
But this isn't the last minute, though.
No, I know. That's why I'm saying
they'll do well here.
They do well. They do
Okay.
well in the early stages.
They
right?
do.
Is there a 3rd tournament I'm missing? I know it's Captain's Draft.
There's 4.
Dota Pit.
There's
the 2
4.
that they got into the finals, and just there's 4 of them.
4.
So I'm missing 2.
Perfect.
Yes.
The Perfect World Minor.
Yes.
They got second to
Yes,
Newbie.
they did. Yeah.
One of the
Testing now.
majors. I wanna
There's been
say?
22 events this season. Here's some fun for you before we go to a break. Just some fun stuff now. Not fun for the team, but fun for us. Vici Gaming, the Vici Gaming organisation, in the DPC season, how many times have they finished runners-up?
Vici Gaming specifically.
As in the whole organisation, there are many teams.
Oh, including Thunder and Storm.
In Storm, yes. How many times have they
Storm
finished
did it
runners-up?
once. Thunder's done it like 4 or 5 times.
3.
Vici's done it 4 times.
13.
8 times.
Yeah.
8 runners-up in 22 Only one team has won a tournament.
That's crazy.
And that's Storm. VG were second to Liquid back at the Dota Pit. They were also second to Newbie at Perfect World Masters, which Gods picked up. They were second to Secret at Captain's Draft and second to VP and ESL 1 Katowice as well. It's astonishing. 8 runner-up spots in 22 tournaments this season.
That has to take a toll mentally.
That has to do something, but it doesn't matter because Jack's got their back. Because VGJ Storm are the only one of the VG boys that have won a tournament all year.
Yeah, and they're probably the hottest of the 3
Right
in
now.
general right now,
Yeah.
so.
NA as well. That's the scariest part.
You never know what to expect.
And on that bombshell, we'll head to a break before we get into any more trouble or Admiral Broadall gets us into any more trouble. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, runes! We'll see you after the break for the final game of Group B.